People of Reddit, what ended your friendship with your best friend? I annoyed her slightly for about 10 seconds one day, so she ended up cyberbullying me severely over several platforms and several weeks. It was honestly for the best. She was toxic as flock. I got cancer twice. He didn't bother to call, text or visit. Oh, this was pre-pandemic, so the hospitals were allowing visitors. I realized that I was doing all of the phone calls and texts and he never initiated anything. Bacterial meningitis. After a few days of unanswered calls, thought maybe I had pissed her off, I drove over to her house. Found my BFF deceased on the couch. Her 5-year-old had luckily survived several days on her own. Both started banging heroin, told each other we either stop or don't talk anymore. I stopped. I still run into time to time and I miss him, but flock. He was secretly recording women he had sex with from Tinder. He would also record his massage therapy clients. I called him out for it several times and still continued. She slept with a married guy. I said I thought that was immoral of both of them. We ended up arguing whether that is legitimately polyamory, a fake the wife never knew. I don't know how they ended up now, and to be honest, I am a bit curious too. Mental health, fell into depression which isolated me, and eventually made me forgotten by the world. He got into jiu-jitsu, ended up with a microbleed on his brain, and it entirely changed his personality. My best friend of over 15 years was no longer the same person. I was diagnosed with bipolar after a very traumatic and public event when I was manic for the first time. Lost all my friends including my best friend. Mental illness sucks. Her allowing me to take my toddler into her known boyfriend's drug house to use the bathroom, then broke into my house the following evening. And tried to beat me up while she was 6 to 7 months pregnant in a Walmart parking lot. I just realized that I didn't want them in my life at that point. I got tired and just cut ties. His ego got way too much for me to put up with. Plus I knew I wasn't going to forgive him for the damage he did to my place unless he paid me back or helped fix the stuff. He almost went out of his way to do so little or be a more of pain than his worth. It started to become a very one-sided friendship where I was always being asked for favors but never getting anything in return. Also lost several friends when I cut down heavily on smoking weed. My wife and her best friend story. They met every other day to the point where my wife asked herself why it is always her who calls and asks for a date. So she just waited until her best friend would call her. 5 years later, still waiting. Upgraded our relationship, from best friends of 6 years to lovers. Realized I was gay and we broke up barely a year after. Lost my best friend and lover. I miss my friend. She ghosted me and I never got a reason why. At this point I can assume her life is astronomical without me. Move on with my life. Anyone else reading these comments and thinking they should put more effort into trying to be a better friend, or is that just me? My depression. 0-1 stole a credit card and blamed it on me. I got arrested. While I was in jail, over Christmas mind you, she flocked my boyfriend. She threatened to cut herself because I refused to talk to her while she was in a relationship with a 14-year-old, she was 18. It was a mess. I'm still not sure how much of the fallout was because of me, and what I lacked to communicate more. Being a compulsive liar for years, over stupid little things. Just got tired of it. She was mean, and I got tired of hearing her subtly bash and bully a mutual friend of ours over her weight behind her back. Weirdly, the two of them ended up best friends years later and are still friends to this day. He turned out to be a pretty manipulative, abusive narcissist that sapped my energy, strength, and was overall a terrible person. No one has treated me worse than that. It was an incredibly dark wake-up call to the kinds of people out there. She constantly cheated on her girlfriend and did a lot of drugs. I tried to help her but she refused my help and started getting physically and verbally violent. She pushed me away, but even after 3 years I check up on her if she's doing okay. Let's just say they did some things to a not legal person in my house. Boy do I wish vigilante justice was legal in special cases. Success will sour relationships with friends who were not meant to be. Another good rule of thumb is never to move in with, or lend money to friends. You tend to keep them longer that way. I slept with one of her friends from her work and she basically stopped talking to me. At the time I didn't see what the issue was back then, but now, 6 or 7 years on, I think she may have had feelings for me and my stupid ass didn't pick up on it. IDK. He had a horrible birth defect where his brain formed in his dick and he flocked my, at the time, girlfriend. No idea. One day I woke up and just didn't wanted to talk to them. That day extended for like 2 years now. I'll answer for my wife. Her best friend since grade school was super into getting involved with married guys. My wife never thought she would make a pass at me. She was wrong and I told her. She never spoke to or acknowledged her friend again. 8th grade. Guess testosterone and growing egos finally boiled over. He snapped over something dumb and got in my face. We beat the flock out of each other. When I realized he was a bully. I just wanted his friendship and attention, and then I realized he was using me for kicks. I put up with his bullshit because I wanted to be liked. We took an international vacation where we realized we hated damn near everything each other did the whole time. Realized year of seeing each other 1 to 2 times a month made us hardly know each other. Her dad died unexpectedly and I was there for her. My dad died unexpectedly a year later and she was not, maybe couldn't be, there for me. It happens, life is weird. He died. Miss him. We met at 4 years old. Friends for about 30 years. He's been gone 8 years now. He flocked my bed. Not on it, but the actual mattress. He cut out a hole and had been doing it for months. I got fired the other day and walked in on him. He confessed and I made him move out the same day. He passed away at his job after we graduated high school. He worked at an asphalt creation center and fell 30-ish feet into a boiling asphalt silo and boiled to death. He had just turned 18, and it was a few days before my 19th birthday. Jail. He went to jail for a really dumb reason and want return letters. IDK if it's embarrassment or what, but he doesn't seem to want to be contacted.